Okay. Hey, Joseph, how are you?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm good. Before we start our session, I would like to go over the signature contract form. Okay. We both have one. Dear volunteer, I'm a student in interviewing skills at Gaston College. I'm required to practice interviewing skills with adult volunteers. I appreciate your willingness to work with me on my class assignment. You may choose to talk about topics of real concern to you, or you may prefer to role play an issue that does not necessarily relate to you. Please let me know before we start whether you are talking about yourself or role play. Topics not permissible due to the status as I am a beginner trainee. Depression, anxiety, or any other emotional concerns. Domestic violence, parenting advice, relationship advice, thoughts of harming yourself or others, physical or sexual abuse of any type, topics that you would not discuss with anyone else, or topics I might not be comfortable with discussing due to the nature of our relationship or my training level. Here are some important dimensions of our work together. Confidentiality. As a student, I cannot offer any form of legal confidentiality. Audio and or videotaping. I will be recording our session for my personal listening and learning. If you become uncomfortable at any time, we can turn off the recorder. The tapes may be shared with my college instructor and or students in my class. You will find that recording does not affect our practice session so long as you and I are comfortable. Without any permission, recording without additional permission, recordings and any written transcripts are destroyed at the end of our course. Boundaries of competence. I am an inexperienced interviewer. I cannot do formal counseling. This practice session helps me learn interviewing skills. I need feedback from you about my performance and what you will find helpful. I may give you a form that asks you to evaluate how helpful I was. Thank you for your support in agreeing to volunteer your time during today's interview. Okay. Okay, now that we've done our agreement form, I would like to go ahead and start. How about you?
Sure.
Okay. Joseph, how have you been since our last session?
Well, since our last session, I've been feeling a lot more positive. I've been feeling just a lot better about things, not as overwhelmed as I was during our last session.
Okay, it seems like things are really positive now and you're moving forward, correct?
Correct. I every day I try to move forward one step at a time.
Okay. What would you like to discuss today?
Today I'd like to discuss myself um, and my family,
Okay.
which is a real world thing. My family, my fiance, um, and my family's classic Ford truck show that we put on every year in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
Okay. I hear that you are using a real scenario and that you are going to talk about your family, your classic truck show. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Tell me about your family.
My family consists of my father, my mother, my sister, my fiance, and my niece and two nephews.
Okay. Tell me about your truck show.
My truck show, uh, my show is called the Grand National F100 Show. It's a show that's been put on by my family for the past 6 years. It's the largest classic Ford truck show in the world. It's in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, in the weekend after Mother's Day every year in May.
Wow. Okay. When you started talking about your family business, you seemed very prideful, correct?
Very, very prideful. I'm very proud of where we came from, which 6 years ago was about 200 trucks was at our first show, And this year, 6 years later, we had 1,121 trucks at our show this past May.
Okay. Well, you sound like you're very ecstatic about the success of your family business.
Very. It says a lot about the dedication and the time that especially my father and I have put into the show. My father and I have been working on old trucks and going to truck shows every single year for 35 years of my life. And I've learned a lot from him. I've learned a lot from other truckers. Learned a lot from just going to these shows.
Okay. It seems to me that your father has been super supportive and a huge mentor in your life.
Absolutely. My father, even when I was a real young kid, he was always my soccer coach, baseball coach, football coach, my Boy Scout leader. He's been the person that I've learned from the most. I've always idolized him and kind of held him as my hero.
Okay. So if you are a promoter, then you are rewarded with benefits, correct?
Correct.
Could you tell me what type of benefit?
Sure. Well, of course, there's the financial benefits of the money that we make, the proceeds that we make from our show every year. But that's kind of like the smallest thing to me. What's the coolest thing is you're kind of known in the car show, truck show world as kind of a little bit of a celebrity, and when we go out to California every year, all those guys out in California know us from our show. Our show's on TV, so people see our show on TV, and they acknowledge that, and that's a really, really cool, really interesting thing.
I could imagine how prideful you are of this show.
Very, like I said, I'm very proud that we've been through some rough times. It hasn't been easy by any means. Every year the show's different. You have different people that come to the show. It might grow, it might shrink. It all depends on the weather. And it's really, really cool to see how all the things that we've been through and how we've been able to triumph over some really hard times. And we've always ended up making everything a positive.
Okay, we've been working together for four weeks now, and it seems that we are making progress.
I would say so. When we first started working together or talking together, I kind of felt really down, really down, kind of negative.
Okay.
But that was just kind of like, I feel like it was a temporary thing at that moment.
Right.
I've been able to motivate myself with the help of my fiance and my family. Been able to motivate myself and kind of take care of some things that have been bothering me in the back of my mind, and that's really helped me kind of get a weight off of my chest, so to speak.
Okay, can you tell me about your fiance?
I can. My fiance is other than my father, she's my best friend. We've been together for about 15 years, met at a car show, and like I said, she's my best friend. We go out, we like to go out to eat, we like to go shopping, do different things, and she's a very core aspect of me and my happiness.
Okay, well, it sounds like your fiance is the yin to your yang.
I would say so. She is definitely, I feel like she's the one for me.
Okay, well, that's great. And about your sister, your niece, your nephews, and your father-in-law? Your brother-in-law?
They are a essential aspect of my life as well. I like to, on the weekends, go in and see my niece and nephews and spend time with them. They all help out with the classic truck show that we have. It's a family-ran show, so they are an essential part of it. I'm kind of like my niece and nephews are kind of like little mascots of it.
That's awesome. So honestly, passion and open-mindedness means the most to you because it benefits your family and your family business, correct?
Absolutely. Without those things, my family's business wouldn't be anything.
Okay. Joseph, if you would, I would like you to journal about your family, your thoughts, or anything that is pressing on you before you return to our next session. Are you willing to give it a try?
I'm willing to try anything that may help.
Okay. Let me see if I am hearing you correctly. You value your family, enjoy classic trucks, and are very prideful in your family business, which would be the Grand National F100 show.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me where the show is located?
The show is located in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee at the LeConte Center every year at the weekend after Mother's Day in May.
Okay. Thank you, Joseph, for helping me with my project and getting over the anxiety I may have in future work. So I thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.